Hi everyone, Happy New Year! Thanks for joining me today. We're going to go ahead and make a birthday card. I actually made this card for my brother's birthday. So we're doing a technique where we're embossing and adding color to the background. I took this Darius Cloud embossing folder and got some chalk ink. It's the Versa Magic Aegean Blue, and covered up the, I guess it would be the negative side of the embossing folder. As you can see, I was a little bit messy. I was trying to avoid not getting some on the clouds, but no worries. I went ahead and took a baby wipe and just cleaned it off. And as you can see right there, see there's no more on there. Got some A2 paper and stuck it onto the embossing folder, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot. I actually ran it through the Big Shot about 4 times. When I did it, it really didn't take the color just because the color was so light. When you're doing this technique, you do want to make sure you're using a dye ink or something that doesn't dry very quickly, because you don't want it to dry and then the color is definitely not going to pick up. So once you get that, you get this beautiful background plus the embossing. I'm also going to use this stamp set from Avery Elle. It's called Party Animal. It's such a cute stamp set. I'm also going to use the sentiment. It says, "Happy birthday, you party animal." I'm stamping the red balloon animal with Memento Rhubarb Stalk dye ink. And if you've never used dye ink, it actually stamps kind of blotchy, but then once it dries, it actually evens out really pretty. I went ahead and die cut the balloon animal out with the corresponding party animal die set. I then next decided I wanted to emboss the clouds because I wanted them to be a little bit wider. So I went in with my EK Success powder tool. It's basically anti-static tool. I grabbed my Versamark stamp pad and just kind of lightly dusted the clouds. Grabbed some white embossing powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle all of that white embossing powder all over the clouds. I was just being really careful. I'll have a list of the supplies I used down in the description box. I just made sure I tapped off all the excess except for ones on the clouds. And then what you want to do, a good trick, is to go ahead and grab a dry paintbrush and wipe off any excess. And then I took my heat tool and embossed it. I did let my heat tool sit for about 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and show you, once I'm done, a close-up of how the clouds look. Let's see. See, it's pretty white and shiny and fluffy. That's kind of where I was going for. And then I took the sentiment from the stamp set, You Party Animal, because I wanted that on the bottom. And then I stamped Happy Birthday on just a regular white cardstock and decided I wanted to go ahead and do a V-tail. So it'll say Happy Birthday up top and then You Party Animal on the bottom. Pretty easy way to cut a banner tail, a V-tail. Just cut up the middle and then cut the sides. And so I'm just kind of laying it out, trying to figure out. I haven't added any adhesive to any of the items already. I actually decided, after I added the foam squares to my party animal, that I didn't really like that sentiment on the bottom, so I cut it off. I just restamped it on some white cardstock and added it with some foam squares. I decided I wanted to add a string to the balloon. It can't just be floating up in the air by itself. I grabbed some baker's twine that I had gotten from Target at the dollar bin, this red and white baker's twine, and tied a bow to it. And then I'm just trying to figure out how I want to place it. Do I want a loop, or did I just kind of want it going up and down? So I was just trying to figure that out. I actually kind of like the loop, but then I thought it would be kind of conflicting with the tail and everything, so I ended up choosing to kind of just do it more of like it being in the air. And I just grabbed some regular Elmer's glue and put it all down the ribbon. And then, as you'll see, the struggle is real. I was actually trying to get it to stick to the way it's supposed to look at. Went ahead and just pulled off finally the foam square backing and adhered the balloon animal now to the way I like it. And this is what I'm talking about right here, where I was kind of like, all right, stick. It was sticking to my hands, but I did that on purpose. I just wanted it to look, I wanted to make sure the glue was tacky enough. And so I'm right now doing the best that I can to try to make it do what I want it to do. So I tried that just for like about a minute, and I finally got it to stay. I think the trick is to kind of do the segments little by little until you get it to the way you want it to be. So after all that was done, I added a whole bunch of foam squares and then adhered to the base of the card. So that finishes the card. Here's a zoom in. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!